Hello, welcome back to another Do You Know Newton? I'm Brian Fazio, Newton County's Public Information Officer, and thank you again for joining us on Newton County's podcast, which you can find on all podcast channels, our YouTube page, on our website as well. Thank you for joining us each and every month. We look forward to telling you some of the things that are going on in Newton County and sitting down with a special guest every month who makes our county go. It's been a busy couple of weeks since we last sat down and spoke together. In March, we have had many events around the county. I know our State of the County was a big event, and thank you for those of you who watched or came. It was a very successful event to kind of outline the vision of what is going on here in Newton County. We have held cleanups. We have had many recreation events. We've done a lot of things. There's even an eclipse that a lot of the staff went outside and enjoyed for a few minutes safely, with our glasses, of course. But we continue to do things here in Newton County with the help, of course, of our great staff. Before we get too much further into this month's podcast, I want to shout out one of our departments. If you haven't heard yet, our water department received another accolade, one of many that the water department receives. For the second time in the last 4 years, Newton County's water has been determined to be the best tasting water in the state of Georgia, among 22 other water treatment facilities in the state of Georgia. Newton County's water, which comes from right here in Lake Varner, of course, was named the best tasting water once again. So thank you to our Water Resources Department for not only providing safe and drinkable water, of course, but the best tasting water in the state of Georgia. That's just one of our many departments that works hard for our residents and visitors here in Newton County. And we hope one day soon, maybe we'll have James Brown, our director, come and share all the great things that him and his team are doing here in Newton County. This month we have another special guest who works right here in Newton County. His department gets many questions from our public, and I know he is very eager to talk to you all and to let you know what actually goes on at our Newton County landfill. So please welcome with me Newton County's Solid Waste Director, Matt Dolan. Matt, thanks for joining us on Do You Know Newton this month. I know you are excited to tell people about the landfill and tell people what's going on, what you do, and dispel some myths maybe that arise around our landfill and solid waste. First of all, welcome. I know you haven't been with Newton County too long. Are we at a year now, or how long have you been with our wonderful county?
I have been here just a little over a year now.
Okay, and what brought you to Newton County, and what wonderful things about our county and our solid waste department did you see that drew you to here?
One of the main reasons why I came here was to be a little closer to home and be closer to my mom. She lives in Barnesville, so my last position was in Columbus, and it was a little ways away from home. So I have been to Newton County several times, and I like the small town feel, and so and this gave me an opportunity to be closer to her, and also have some being close to Atlanta as well. So
so home Barnesville still, or is it now in Newton County?
I do currently live in Newton County.
Nice, welcome. So what about, I know being close to home was a big draw here, but what did you know about the Newton County solid waste, and what kind of things drew you to that job particularly?
I think it presented a great opportunity for me to learn some new things, and also bring some experience to the landfill, and also be able to work in a different setting, working for an authority board, a change, to give me some more experience in that. And one of my weaknesses is probably public speaking, and so it's helped with that, getting up and speaking to the board on a monthly basis and preparing for such.
How does one get into the solid waste landfill, trash, refuse field? Is that something you woke up in high school like, man, I really want to do this?
Every time I talk to someone, I tell them I never imagined when I grew up I'd be working in a landfill. I I always said I never imagined I'd be the trash man. I really do. When I was I went to University of Georgia. We went to a closed landfill, and I remember going to it and talking about the closure process of a landfill and so forth. But I never thought that lab and that experience on that day would ever bring me to this point. And it just I had some experience in stormwater, and industrial stormwater, which a landfill is one of our environmental controls is monitoring our stormwater, and I had some experience in that in my last job, and that's how I was promoted to working at the landfill, because no one there had any experience with that, and so I brought that environmental thought process and experience to the table, and that is a key component to managing a landfill is understanding environmental controls.
Is that what you went? I guess you went to UGA. Is that what you went to school for? Was environmental sciences? Nice, and that's definitely one of the things you brought to our landfill. I know in the past, our landfill had to overcome some challenges, but I know recently, the last year, 2 years, we have received rave reviews from the EPD. If you want to kind of go into a little bit about that and what all you all have to do to meet those strict criteria.
Yes, our landfill is inspected twice a year by the district office of the EPD out of Athens. Our last inspection in November, we received 100. The landfill is in compliance. And during an inspection, an inspector will monitor the whole site. They will go through a rigorous inspection of our records and the site, making sure the site is in good condition and is keeping accurate records.
Yeah, I know there's been a ton of work done over the last 3-4 years to help with the leachate flow, which is, you can probably explain better than me. What is that, and what have you done to kind of ensure that the site is safe, the environment's safe, all that is safe?
So the landfill has undergone a partial closure. So part of it has been closed out with a closure turf, and that was something they did to help manage the leachate. Leachate is the water that passes through trash, and it is collected on site and is sent over to the Newton County Water and Sewer Authority, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they'll treat it then.
And they'll treat it, and all of it's collected on site and pumped to them and is managed properly. And leachate controls is another environmental control, and it is very key that we manage our leachate and collect it in accordance with our permit and with EPDs.
Yeah, I mean, we all make trash and it has to go somewhere. So I appreciate you and your staff doing everything you can to make sure that the environment's well taken care of, and it's all done responsibly. Speaking of your staff, how many people work at our landfill and our solid waste?
So we have roughly about 15 employees that work at the landfill between the scale house and in the operations. And then we also have about 12 part-time temp workers that work at the convenience centers.
Yeah, you all kind of structured a little differently. I know you report to a solid waste authority. So the Board of Commissioners appoints an authority, the Board of Directors who kind of oversees. Is that how that works?
I believe so. That's a good way to put it.
And you all are set up, you're funded as an enterprise fund, which for those people who don't know, an enterprise fund kind of is a self-sustaining fund. All the money you bring in the landfill, not you as Matt, but all the money the landfill brings in goes right back to the landfill. How does that work? And
so there is a intergovernmental agreement between the Board of Commissioners and the Solid Waste Management Authority, and that dictates how everything is operated and who and who owns such. And we are sustained. Our operations are sustained by the tipping fee and from the hang tag fees. That's how we operate the convenience centers, and that's how we operate the landfill. We trash comes in only from Newton County, and we manage it, and the waste that's brought into the convenience centers comes to the landfill as well, and all the revenue that comes from both the landfill and the convenience centers is how we operate.
Yeah, that's as the public information officer. That's a question I get a lot: is how does our funds go toward the landfill and solid waste and the general fund? So the general fund is our overarching. To explain a little bit, general fund is our overarching fund where everything's paid for. I think the only funds you receive from that fund is not you again, Matt, but the Solid Waste Authority is from a previous settlement done by the Board of Commissioners 8 years ago, something like that. And everything else is generated from fees that your customers bring in, and also fees from the convenience centers, which I know that was a shift as well about 8-9 years ago. They used to be, and I'm gonna do this free. They appeared free, but that was supplemented as well by the general fund. And now the fees that you all charge still comes out. I forget how much you all charge now, but it still comes out to what, $20 a month, less than $20 a month, for people to bring their trash to the recycling convenience centers. And then I know you touched a little bit about those convenience centers. Hang tags go on sale again soon, correct?
Yes, June 1st.
June 1st. And where can people pick those up?
They can purchase those from here at the courthouse or online. And then you don't have to stand in line. You can just go online and fill out the form, and it requests proof of residency. And you can upload that, and that way you don't have to come in the office here and into the courthouse here and have to deal with the long lines and the wait.
Yeah, and then our county seems to be, and I haven't been to all 159 counties in Georgia, but a little different where we're urban as the county, and then we're also rural. So how does that impact these centers and people who may not be able to receive? My understanding is people weren't able to receive curbside all throughout the whole county. Is that still hold true, or?
Well, the county doesn't provide curbside service, so that's one of the key components to those convenience centers is usually when a county or a city does not provide either a contractor or themselves to collect the waste curbside. Usually, you'll see convenience centers. I do believe a majority of the county now can sign up through a contractor to get curbside service. I know in my area I have it. We just called someone up. But yes, there probably are some places that are on routes in the county that are very rural, and so that's where the convenience centers come into play. And we also have the ability for you to bring yard waste. You can recycle, and then you can bring bulk waste, which a lot of times when you have curbside service, it's just a 95-gallon weight. Golf.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point. Those are all private companies. When we don't pick up curbside, your department just operates the landfill and the convenience centers, which is just a convenient way to get the trash to the landfill. What about recycling? You mentioned that a little bit. Do we do recycling at the landfill or convenience centers, and what types of recycling do we do?
So at the landfill, we recycle mattresses, tires, metal. Currently, we're always open to new ideas and new ways. Mattresses are fairly new. We're trying to, keep those out of the landfill. Tires are, you're not supposed to landfill tires, so that's why we recycle those. And metal, obviously, is a renewable source that can be recycled and done very efficiently. And so at the convenience centers, we have glass, we have plastics, we offer metal recycling and aluminum recycling, and they're commingled together in our metal bin. And then we also offer cardboard and mixed paper recycling. The cardboard, mixed paper, and plastics all go to Pratt Industries and Conyers. The glass goes to Strategic Materials, and over there, I think it's in Forest Park, and the glass a lot of times is used in insulation and fiberglass, and then the plastics are reused, and the cardboard and paper is reused for cardboard and the metal.
Yeah, I can see how you transitioned from environmental science into this. There's a lot of science is involved in this, and the way we do things now. is very interesting. But also in the future, how much is your industry evolving, and do you see our landfill evolving, whether it's 50 years, 10 years down the road, or just the way landfills are done in general?
There's been a huge shift in landfilling in the last 10 years. And it's all driven by regulations. A lot of times, the EPA will come out and tell EPD, hey, we need to, this is something that is a concern. We need to look at this. And then we have a permit that we operate under. And I think a lot of changes you see come from new ideas, but also from regulation. And the future in solid waste is bright. I think, whatever we can do to improve our operations and then become, less of an impact on the environment is great. We have a flare at the landfill where we capture our landfill gas, and we flare it off to try to help with the environment, our emissions. So that's something we're doing. It's just happened in the last couple of years.
Really?
So and then we'll look to expand that, and that is just in the trash, and it collects the gas from the trash, and we will.
So how does that work? I mean, as things are buried and over the years they degrade, I guess, or whatever, it produces a gas, and where does that?
So as the trash breaks down, it starts producing gas, and it's not just certain. It's a bunch of gases. It's not. Yeah, we have. Methane is always the one that everybody talks about, but there's also other methane, other organic compounds besides methane. But we put pipes in the landfill, and then we'll the flare has basically a big vacuum, and it sucks out the gas, and it burns it off. And hopefully one day we'll have enough to be able to do like some sort of renewable natural gas. So we'll be able.
Gas is not enough trash.
Yeah.
And I know you briefly touched on it, that we only take trash from Newton County. I think that's written in the Newton County Charter or the Solid Waste Authority ordinance. Yeah, Solid Waste Authority ordinance that we can only accept trash from Newton County. So it won't,
The landfill's here for the citizens of Newton County to keep their trash collection rates down. And the tip fees are the reason.
Yeah, and I know you're doing more to kind of promote recycling. At the Board of Commissioners meeting the other night, they approved a grant that you can kind of repair your recycling bins, or what all was that?
Yeah, so EPD has a grant. It's basically a recycling grant. Comes out of the Solid Waste Trust Fund, and the grant is for us to refurbish our glass and plastic bins. We're going to sandblast them, paint them blue, put new stickers on, properly label them, and try to get people to realize when they come to the convenience centers, hey, we do recycle, and this is where we want it. And hopefully we can get a little uptick in our recycling, try to divert that waste from the landfill, and bring a little bit of a better appearance to our convenience centers.
Yeah, of course, less trash we can put in our landfill is better for the environment. Helps the landfill not expand and last longer, and all that stuff. You're also doing, and we've done I think one or two in the past, and they've been huge turnouts. A tire amnesty event that helps with recycling, obviously. But tell us a little more about the tire amnesty event.
So the tire amnesty event's another grant EPD offers where they reimburse us for for tires. This is on May 25th over at the Cook Road Convenience Center. We will be hosting our late spring tire amnesty day, where you're allowed to bring tires from the right of way, or if you have them behind the house. It just helps collect the tires so they don't end up being thrown away in ditches and so forth, and gives the citizens an opportunity, instead of bringing them to the landfill and having to pay to dump them, they can bring them to the tire amnesty day and dispose of them for free of charge, and we will take them over to Jackson and have them recycled and be reimbursed by EPT for that.
And one more time, when and where is that event?
May 25th at the Cook Road Recycling Center, Convenience Center.
Nice. Great. I know you and your staff are doing a lot. You're always out there working, especially if there's a rainstorm or something. I know you're working to make sure everything stays as well for the environment as it can. You're doing things to promote recycling, and then just running the day-to-day operations is no easy task. Anything you'd like to add? Or
Well, we've done a lot of upgrades to the convenience centers. We've cleaned them up some. We have we're trying to paint the bins, trying to paint the recycling bins, trying to bring a new look to the convenience centers. We've put in cameras at the convenience centers to help with any type of issues that we have out there, where it be a customer service issue or a theft issue or anything like that, where we have somebody coming in the site maybe doing something they shouldn't be doing. And then we've also at the landfill we just this year we got a new scale so that we can accurately weigh waste and make sure that we're doing the right, keeping the waste weighed in and out accurately. We have purchased some used trucks to try to save funds, pickup trucks and a roll-off truck, and the cost of those are substantially cheaper than new vehicles. We have also been doing a lot of work on the landfill, trying to do some upgrades so that the experience is better for people coming into the landfill and leaving. And so, and we're also doing the grant work, so trying to get as much money from grants and so forth to try to keep our tipping fees down.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep it too long. It sounds like you're pretty busy, not only looking out for the environment, people who come to the convenience centers, and the finances. So you have your work cut out for you. But we appreciate all you do here in Newton County. Appreciate all you do for the environment of Newton County and the residents of Newton County. So thank you for coming by. Big things continue to happen here in Newton County, and you can find out all that information on our website, ncboc.com, our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our Twitter account, our YouTube page, our LinkedIn page. You get the point. There's a lot of ways that we put out information to you all in Newton County, and the reason we do that is because there's a lot of things coming up. You heard Matt kind of talk about our Tire Amnesty Day. There are district cleanups approaching, so please check our channels for information on that. We have town halls periodically that you can find out about. We have coming up a shred event by the wonderful people at Keep Newton Beautiful. Our shred event will be at the library on April 22nd, the Turner Library over off of Floyd Street. You can feel free to bring any documents. I know tax season just ended. That's why we do it this time of year, is if you have documents, you can bring them. Free shred event to make sure all those documents are not only recycled but taken care of in a way that is secure and safe. We have a lot going on in our recreation, but before we get to that, a big event that affects all of us, of course, is our voting. This is election year, and our elections team has been hard at work preparing all of our voting locations. And that's important because early voting is approaching very quickly. Early voting begins for the general primary election on April 29th. There are several locations, 3 locations, where Newton residents can vote early for the upcoming primary election. Again, approaching May 21st, election day for the primary election, where you choose which party and then you pick for that party strictly. The early voting begins, as I said, April 29th, and those locations are the Turner Lake Recreation Center in the Banquet Hall, 6185 Turner Lake Road. That location is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. To 5 p.m. We'll also be on Saturday, May 4th at that location from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Sunday, May 5th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday, May 11th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, that's at Turner Lake, which Monday through Friday, starting April 29th, are open 8 to 5. And there's 2 Saturdays, 9 to 5, May 4th and May 11th, and 1 Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on May 5th. The other locations are Prospect Church at Oak Hill, which is located at 6752 Highway 212. There will be open for early voting Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Only Monday through Friday at that location. Another location is Harvest Church, which is a new advanced voting location this year for for our voters. So please, if you're in that area, or even if you're not, check out early voting there at Harvest Church. That's 2075 Highway 212 in Covington. They are open only Monday through Friday, but from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. as well. So it's 3 ways to advance vote in person at Turner Lake, which also has Saturdays and Sunday hours. Prospect Church at Oak Hill, which is Monday through Friday, and Harvest Church, which is Monday through Friday. Of course, absentee ballot applications will be accepted through May 10th as well. So please make sure you check out those ways and engage those ways that you can advance vote with Newton County. So it's just one of the many things that the staff of Newton County is preparing for. Please continue to check ncboc.com, check our Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all those. And of course, check out this podcast every month at all the places the podcasts are found, and our YouTube page with Do You Know Newton. So thank you for joining me, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the next Do You Know Newton.